Dear students, we were exploring different options and groups in Home ribbon in Microsoft Word. And today we will be focusing on paragraph group, and some of the options available in paragraph group will be covered in this module, while others will be covered in the next module. So today we will be covering alignment, line and paragraph spacing, shading, and borders. So let's move to the same document which we were discussing, and this is the paragraph group. So the first row will be discussed in the next module. We are now focusing on alignment and spacing and shading and then borders and sorting as well. For example, this is a content which is written. So you can see that this content is equally spaced from the left side and from the right side. So such a content is known as justified. However, if you want that this content should be justified from left side, and actually on the right side you do not want to make it justified with the same space from the right side for each of the line, then you can use this left justified button after selecting the content. So this means when you click on justify button, so you can see that the spaces between each of the word is not even. So there are some more spaces. If you closely observe, then you can see that sometimes there is more space between the words and there is less space, like between of and scientific, more space between scientific and literature, more with various and aspect, and so on. However, if you put it left justified, so this means that the content is not expanded to have the same space from the right side. So whatever space it is actually taking, that is retained in the document. And similarly, you can make it as center justified as well. So this is not shown in this document. Let's do it in this document. So if you go to center justified, so you have seen that this content has been moved in the center of the document. Right justified means that it has been moved to the right of the document. So whatever you will write now will have the same space from the right side. However, it is not justified from the left side. And just justified means that the content is justified from the left side and justified from the right side. So this means that it is taking the same space from the left side and same space from the right side. However, if that line has only few words, as in our case, the first line has only 4 words, so it will not be expanded to have the same justification as of this line. So if it has enough words, then it will be justified from the right side as well. And then there is line spacing and paragraph spacing. So let's try this option on this document. So I am pressing Ctrl Z to perform the undo. So now, for example, if I want to put more space between the lines, so for example, this line and this line should have more space or less space. So let's select the lines or paragraph which you want to have different line spacing, and then click on this button, and at the moment it is of 1.5 scale. So let's do it 1.0. So you can see that the lines have been shrinked. If I go 1.5, it is expanded. If I go to 2, you can see that the distance between the lines is more. And if you go to 3, then the difference is even more. So this was 1.5, the natural one for this document. And then you can even go to more line spacing options, and you can say that whenever you are going to start new paragraph. So what should happen between the lines, what should happen between the indentation. So for example, I am saying that the text should be left ident of 0.6 scale. So let's see that now all of the content has been put towards right side and 0.6 has been left from the left side. So pressing Ctrl Z will bring you to the same place, and there are some other options which are available over here. So these measurements are in inches. It should be transferred 1 inch to the right side. All right, so you can see that this is the measurement of inch. So left ident. You can also play with this ruler to place it to the same place where you want. And then there is a shading with the text. For example, if you click on this and press on the shading, so there are different colors available. So for example, if you say the red color, this means the selected text will have red shading. And then this is very good resource. Like if I select this thing and select this button is basically the borders. So I say that I need border all around this text. So if I click over here, so whatever I had selected have been put under the border. So you can see that the lines around it have appeared. This could be one of the way to select the text using the borders, and there are variety of borders available here. So for example, if you select this thing and you can see bottom border, you can see left border, and so on. So such kind of borders can be added to your document. So if we go over here, let's try to put it here. The bottom border. So this means that there is a line at the bottom of the page, top, right? So need to click again bottom so that bottom disappears, then top. So there is a line at the top. So this is about the paragraph group. And here is another important thing known as sorting. So let's try to do it. So for sorting, we need to first make a table. So let's go into the insert tab, table, and for example, I put it over here. So this is the name of the student, and let's put in the second column the marks. We will be learning more about creating tables in the next modules, but as we need it now to sort some of the content, that's why we have done it over here. So for example, Zishan is the second name, 12 marks. Akbar has, for example, 90 marks. And then, for example, Fiza, which has 45 marks. And then there is Ahmad, which has got 100 marks. So if you want to go for the sorting, so let's click over here and it will ask you that from which column you want to sort. So I want to sort with column number 2. Type is number and using the paragraphs and in the descending order, which means that I need the student who has got maximum marks at the top of the row. So let's try to do it. Oh wow. So the Ahmad who was actually at the last place has been shifted at the first row, and then 90, 45, 25, 12. So all of the content has been sorted. And then there is another small thing over here, which is basically to show and hide some hidden symbols. So for example, if I perform Control Z and press it over here, so this is showing that this is a enter, and then for example you have a space between introduction and off, only one space. So if I click another space, so you can see there are two dots. So these two dots are telling us that there are two spaces between off and important, three spaces, four spaces. But if I turn off this information, now I don't know that whether there are three spaces or four spaces between off and important. So this is very important button which can tell you the hidden enters, page breaks, spaces between the words, and so on. So today we have learned about the paragraph group, and some of the topics have been discussed from paragraph group, like alignment, line and paragraph, shading, borders, and sorting. So we have experimented with two documents to perform practically all of these steps, and in the next module we will be focusing the remaining options in paragraph group of home ribbon.